everybody, and welcome to this week's Prophetic Trumpet. We want to thank you for joining us as we continue the series, You Will Be Like God. Now, in this series, we are seeing a consistent flow of information and a building. Trust me, you're going to see where we're going with this as we continue the series. Today, we're going to talk about the linking to current events to the days of Noah. And we will take a look at this claim that has been found online, and we are going to really kind of expose whether or not this is legitimate or not as it pertains to the days of Noah. There is a claim that there is a move by the United States federal government in the past that wants to discover DNA of the giants. Let's dig into this. Now we're going to go to X. Again, the links will be down below. They'll be posted so that you can verify this on your own if you want. Now this is an account called the Intel Scyf, S-C-I-F. It's a very unusual spelling. I'm going to read what the post is, and then I'm going to get into the digging that we did as to whether or not this is accurate and whether or not this is potentially a linking to the fulfillment of biblical prophecy, because that is tantamount, honestly. So let's go and let's start revealing what this post is, and then we're going to get into whether or not this is a legitimate claim or whether or not this is deception. But the bottom line is there a tie to prophecy? Okay, so again, this comes from the platform X and the Intel Scyf, S-C-I-F. And I'm going to read it just as it's posted. As it says here, what were we really invading Iraq for? And are the elites tracing their bloodlines to the Nephilim or the fallen angels? Now, I'm guessing when they say elites, they mean the globalists that are orchestrating a lot of world events and have been for quite a long time. Now, an email, continuing what this claim is, an email from Hillary Clinton's State Department reads, quote, looking for resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body and the location of the buried Nephilim, end quote. That's kind of interesting from an administration that really denied the existence of God. Now, once you understand, and I'm continuing verbatim with what is written here, once you understand that these elites are tracing their their lineage and bloodlines to the fallen angels, that's me putting that word in, everything else they do begins to make sense. They believe they have the right to rule over us. But what else are they doing? The question is, what are they trying to do with the bodies once they find them, especially with the type of technology that we have now, which is why we build out for 4 weeks previous to this. Now, that is the end of what I'm going to read from that post from X, from this specific account. And I did the digging, I did the research, because, well, trust me, when you're as educated as I am, you learn to do research effectively. Now, this is not an authentic email. I need you to know that. This is not an authentic email sent by Hillary Clinton. It is an entry into a public log of the Freedom of Information Act that requests to the State Department, where a third party, unknown third party, requested documents on the Gilgamesh resurrection chamber and the burying location of the Nephilim without any direct link to Hillary Clinton herself. Now, obviously, the mainstream media isn't going to talk about this. So this is where the research started to become a little bit more grand as I plunged in much deeper. Now, the post cites a real 2019, the year 2019 or 2019, however you want to put it, Freedom of Information Act, that is request number F-2019-02110, those that want to check up on this on your own. And this request was obviously made to the State Department for documents on Gilgamesh's resurrection chamber, documents on the Nephilim burial sites, but the claim misattributes this to Hillary Clinton herself in an email form per fact checks confirming it is a public inquiry, not an internal correspondence inquiry. Now, accompanying video recounts from 2003, archaeological findings of potential Uruk, that's U-R-U-K, not like the actor Uruk, but anyways, the ruins and a tomb in Iraq, alleging that United States forces excavated at night for artifacts like giant remains, or remains of giants is probably how I should have said that, tying into the invasion motives behind the official weapons of mass destruction claims that were obviously faulty. The narrative aligns with the biblical Nephilim lore, of a giant offspring of fallen angels, that's Genesis 6:4, and it positions elites seeking ancient DNA for resurrection or immortality, because that is going on right now, echoing unverified theories from sources like the Epic of Gilgamesh on eternal life quests, because that is something that's very prevalent among the globalists. They want to live forever and they want to find the proverbial fountain of youth. Now, archaeological attempts. This is where I really started to plunge myself even deeper into the research, because when you have a doctorate, you should probably research things before you claim them. Archaeological attempts to verify remains of giants in ancient Canaan have yielded a range of claims, including sensationalist reports of massive skeletons. Some important considerations to include in this are, number one, the excavations of Bashan and the surrounding regions. While the digs in the Golan Heights and the surrounding Transjordan regions, biblical Bashan that is, have uncovered Iron Age fortifications, burial sites, and megalithic structures, there has been no conclusive discovery of oversized human remains verified link to the Nephilim or the Raphaim or the Anakim or even King Og. Now, the large circular stone monuments and structures do demonstrate advanced building skills. There are some that have interpreted as evidence of a taller, imposing population, but these interpretations are speculative rather than definitive. The second thing I discovered was the skeletal finds in Levant. There have been claims, often circulated in popular media, of enormous skeletons in the Levant. In many cases, these reports have proven to be hoaxes or misunderstandings. For example, manipulated photographs, that would be Photoshop for those that are Gen X. Mainstream archaeological journalists do not document any uncontested remains of truly gigantic human structure or statures of 10 to 15 feet tall. Any extraordinary skeleton claims stress the need for thorough peer-reviewed analysis, which has yet to yield consensus of actual giants. Then the third and final reason is the anecdotal reports and the local legends. Local traditions, that being in parts of the Middle East, sometimes speak of giants associated with ancient ruins. These legends often arise from the presence of large metholithic stones in temple constructions, such as Baalbek in Lebanon. Now, while these sites feature massive building blocks, they do not, in fact, themselves prove the presence of gigantic human beings moving these blocks. Instead, they highlight that the ancient engineering methods remain impressive by modern standards, and local storytellers occasionally attribute them to the feats of giants. Now, all that being said with the research, now I have people close to me that I do trust that have claimed that they have seen firsthand actual evidence of skeletal remains of giants, and that there are, shall we say, powerful organizations through non-profits that are represented, I guess would be the best term, through museums to collect these and to keep them hidden from the general public. Now, I have not seen anything of this firsthand. There are photographs you can find online. There have been photographs in major publications dating back to the 1970s that have found these things, supposedly, and that they were not manipulated photos. So again, when we see this theory come about and its link to the days of Noah, yeah, we need to be fully aware, because if the days of Noah are to repeat, then we have an idea that quite possibly, honestly, the giants will in some manner reappear in the end times, specifically the tribulation areas. But with that being said, there is nothing other than Jesus saying it will be like the days of Noah. There's nothing in any of the prophets, there's nothing in the book of Revelation or any of the Gospels spoke by Jesus himself, or even the epistles, that speaks of the rebirth of the giants itself, other than Jesus saying it will be like the days of Noah. So the possibility exists. I have laid the groundwork for the last 4 weeks to demonstrate to you that the technology exists, that if there is a means to extract DNA, to resurrect, very much like the wolf that we explained a few weeks ago, that if this can be done, if the body, the skeletal remains, the DNA can be extracted, then there is a probable theory that it could be recreated, resurrected, if you will, and giants would again roam the earth. As it stands right now, though, there is no hardcore evidence out there that this has occurred. We want to thank you for joining us for this week's Prophetic Trumpet. Join us next week as we continue the series of You Can Be Like God. So if you like the message, please give us the thumbs up. Please send this, hit that share button and send it out to people so that they can know what's happening in the world right now as it revolves around prophecy. And hey, please subscribe to us and hit that notification bell. You'll see every time we post. Hope you all have a blessed day.